PB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah, why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stubbed, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go. Look. I told Shorty drop it for a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and pop it, let me feel some. Do it for the boy with a bag now. Movie star money making everybody act out. I don't lie to these women. If I want them, then I tell them. Don't get fly for these women. I was born with these propellers. All my haters cannot beat me, so I call them acapellas. See, I'm only getting better. You only get jealous. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Winter Festival. This is the quarterfinals, and tonight you have me, Professor Tarzan, and of course my great friend Jake in here. Highland Wolf, come say hi to everyone.
Hello.
How's he doing? How is it going?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I haven't casted for a week, but this will be some good thing to get back to. And tonight we have 16 teams in this first quarterfinals of the Winter Festival. Let's go through the teams one by one. In slot 3 we have Hate Gaming. Slot 4 we have Paradox Waffles. Team 5 we have FASTboys. Team 6 Immortals. Team 7 Necrotic Esports. Team 8 we have Team They. Team 9 we have ETP Esports. Team 10 VD Overtake. Team 11 we have 7 Atoms EU. Team 12 we have Team Pain. In slot 13 we have KUMA Germany. Slot 14 Sons of Odin. Slot 15 we have 29. Slot 16 we have Team Sog. Team 17 we have La Familia LF. Last but not least we have SpecialX, and that is the 16 teams who are going to fight for those qualification spots. And we are having some technical things that we're trying out, so bear with us. But how are you feeling, Highland Wolf? What are you expecting?
Oh,
we've got interesting order of maps, actually. Sanhok first.
I know.
Then that, yeah.
Right, you got Sanhok in the Rumble in the jungle first map. I love that, to see all the action, the fast pace, nitty gritty gunfights that we're going to be seeing out in front for the first match. And then obviously you got Miramar, 2 Miramar maps, so it's not 2 Orangles this time. Tarzan, we do have the sandy dunes of Miramar going to be the most played map here, and that changes things up, because that with Miramar it's all much more about positioning and much more about adapting in a way to these rotations and how the zone plays out, because with such an open map with Miramar, you need to be ahead of the game. And now that we get into the nitty gritty of the quarterfinals here, now that we start to see these 11 different countries, 11 different regions, if you like, of teams coming in to these quarterfinal matches, this is where we want to see the start of these preemptive rotations. This is where we expect to see these teams having a plan, having a way to get around hard zones, and being able to really put it down when the pressure's on.
Definitely. And also very excited to see how these teams are doing, especially after the whole week of PMCO qualifiers. A lot of them should be fit and ready, and so yeah, I think a lot of them should be in top form, and this can really spice things up. And good luck to all the teams. In terms of qualifying, not an easy one. I've heard a lot of stories, the difficulties, and the scary stories in the qualifier. So fingers crossed for all of you as we're waiting for some more players to join the lobby. And I think we are going to have this start very soon.
Oh man, I cannot wait to get into it and just have some winter festival action here, Tarzan, with these teams. And of course, looking back at these teams, right, you've got the obvious names like Hate Gaming, you've got Immortals, 7 Atoms here we've known from EU scene for a long time now. You've got even La Familia, SpecialX here as well. But I'm interested to see how some of these teams I've not seen so far, how they adapt to these more well-known teams, how they will put their stamp on these series of games tonight. Teams like FASTboys that I've not heard of personally. I've not heard of Team Sog EU. I've not heard of 29 just yet, or VD Overtake, for example. So these teams are going to be the ones that will catch my eye.
Exactly, and of course, as the caster, I would really want the clan tax to be a little bit more in line, but you know what, we will go with it and see what we can do, and that is us having this first game. Let's go get some. And they're already not helping me. You can I don't know whether you can hear it, but this all chat already Highland Wolf.
No, I can't hear it all chat.
So 16 teams, 2 trios, and the trios will be Paradox, PDX, as well as Team 16, Team Sog, and we have this playing path on the smallest competitive map, 4 kilometers times 4 kilometers, with this playing path going from Ban towards just off the western side of Cow. Very center, that means teams can go whatever they want to go, wherever they want to go, and that will mean these teams need to play like there's an enemy everywhere. And but yet a lot of there's actually no one around Quarry, but we can see some congestion heading towards Kampong. Quite some teams heading towards Ruins, Painan as well. Some splits coming through, but the congestion mostly on the northern side of the map, Highland Wolf.
I'll be interested to see particularly how the side of ETP Esports over in Docks plan to get into the zone. If it particularly is going to be a zone, it goes further north. They're going to have a hard time, right? Because we've seen these many teams drop over in Docks. We've got 2 teams here already fighting out. You've got PDX versus ETP. It looks like Wasson is going to go for Destroyer. Goes down to half. Has got the knock. Goes down. Road. Finds the first kill of the game, but also on the back front, ETP also lose another because it looks like a 1-for-1 knock, but ETP will clean that up and they will survive for now. Croissant is going to get out of Docks now, and we're going to reset here in this first game. But as I say, it is going to be about how these teams make it out of the dock area, because that congested location is always going to be a little bit tricky, because there's only one real way up through the land peninsula, if you like, to get into the zone. We do see as well Team 8 there, going to be Team 8 also losing one.
And that is going to be a 2-for-2 in Hartin. We know Hate Gaming very well, at least I do, Highland Wolf, and they do like this drop spot. And not always is the case that they get contested for it, but there we have it. Team They is the name, and they go 2-for-2. Ragnar here still using the third person peek, will get a beautiful knock onto Fox. Mihi has to come in for support now if they want to save it. He is just on the other side of this broken wall, but the flash will come through. That is Hate Gaming down to 1 player pretty early.
Interestingly to note that Hate Gaming, this team that we mentioned just at the start of his stream here, perhaps one of the favourites in this tournament to go far, and a well-known team, very established to actually be able to go far, and going down just to 1 member, that's going to put them in a little bit of a predicament early on. Obviously, that zone in phase 1 has here now shifted over to the main island, so we're not going to see really too much action coming from the 2 small islands on the west side. It's going to be much more of these teams rotating through the bridges, through Painan, through the L-shaped buildings towards boot camp, trying to find a position in the center of the map.
And this total circle also is good news for teams like Team Sog and Sons of Odin, as we see on our screen right here. The trio, one of the trios, have lost a 1-for-1 in Kampong so far. And but they have that position in the circle, so they can chill for a little bit. Surprisingly empty around Quarry, but look at these teams slowly moving into it. There's a lot of choke spots around that area, so that is fast moving towards that area. And we also have IM, so that is a clan tag that I need to find out. That is Immortals, and that is them heading towards the quarry side as well. Team Pain rotating away from Paradise Resort, like one holding each side of that southern part is Team Pain themselves and SpecialX.
Yeah, I would like to see Faster rotate up towards the hill and get that well-known vision point just above boot camp, where you can see not only boot camp itself, but you can see the teams that are rotating through the bridges from that southern island coming into the center of the zone. And because they've not moved just now, you see that Immortals are also coming up for the same spot. Bit fast here are occupying. So we expect now with Immortals to have that high ground moving in. They're going to spot fast and potentially that fight later on starts to ensue. But of course, in the rest of the map, these teams are still very split right now. Expect teams to still just be looting up. And it will be because of how this central plane path goes and because teams were able to go exactly where they wanted to, that we're going to have a slightly slower pace Sandhawk to start off.
Yes, and this kind of not really a three-way fight, but it can break out that way. Like you said, Immortals holding this Painan Hill can overlook and stop rotations coming out from 29, who is holding Painan right now. The other junction compound, we have Fast in there. FASTboys holding that compound, but doesn't have high ground, of course. But Immortals, I've played this hill before. You really need to know your split. You need to know how quick you can get to into position to support your teammates if they do get pushed, but that will be that. And but the other side of Painan can get a little bit spicy as well, as we see 7 Atoms EU coming through from that western side.
Yeah, of course, looking now at the side of Immortals there, making their way further in. And honestly, I start to think right now with these teams rotating in, 7 Atoms particularly going to be going over to Painan. Little bit of a question mark over now the team there in Painan about how they will actually rotate out of that compound, right? Because now you've got 7 Atoms coming in from behind. You've got teams like Immortals that are established out in front of their position as well. You're going to start to be sandwiched by these teams rotating in, and especially if that zone in phase number 2 also now centralizes the main island. Expect that it's going to be a little bit tricky, but it does look like 7 Atoms almost find a pick there, but won't just find one yet.
And I think another topic to talk about, Highland Wolf, is trigger discipline. They've got a pretty strong position, but if they open fire pretty early without getting a knock and a finish, their position's like being given away. And I don't think that's the best thing that they can do right now, because like 29, they just have to hold Painan still. It's off center, not quite center, but is Sanok, right? Like it can shift towards there as they still got the circle. So with that really just proved my point. That means 7 Atoms will be looked at by 29 right now, and they have to find a bit of a wider rotation to enter the next phase. The circle, phase 2 is here. It goes over to the main island. That will be other teams needing to come in. VD is now around ruins, so that is them needing to rotate furthermore. Sons of Odin from Kampong as well will need to move.
Man, look as well at Kampong, these 3 teams with the zone now out for 2 of them. That's going to be really interesting to see how they will move into the zone, how they will fight in for that position on the southern front that is not occupied right now, that will look to be occupied later on as this zone comes now further into the center of Sandhawk. We see, of course, like Immortals also moving up towards the quarry, and we see teams now fighting outside of boot camp, interestingly enough, for a center position of the zone, where you see the compounds running along that roadside in the center, just on the eastern side of boot camp. That high ground there is going to be so important for teams getting vision of enemies rotating from the north side, from the eastern side particularly. But we look at that grenade smash down onto SpecialX, and SpecialX are going to have to rethink that one because their scout is now down.
That position, I mean, look at Team Pain, the experience knowing the limits and the choke spots that can stop their rotation, just clearing that rock and them being incredibly patient, and that will be one going over to Team Pain as they continue to control this area. Let's look at the other teams. Seems like we can get a bit of a clash on this southeastern side. ETP now on top of the 2 remaining players of Team Sog.
Yeah, Team Sog here versus ETP. ETP, though, do have that advantage for now, and it will look like they want to try move out separately here as 1-1 split to try take advantage of ETP, try find one that is maybe caught out of position. But ETP, on the other hand, do have this hill, this dip that will protect them from the enemies right now. Sog, they move their way slowly in. These rocks, the only thing currently protecting him from the line of fire.
Gertie was trying to provide some cover fire for Broody there, but that will only be showing his own position. I was trying to look at what's behind him to assess his escape strategy. So him doing that, not getting a knock with Broody knock as well. He is basically pinched behind these two rocks, and that might be the end for Team Sog. But there's another team coming on. That is going to be Sons of Odin stealing that kill away. Quite some distance though, so we'll see how they are going to rotate around this fight.
Sons of Odin with the pick, the grenade comes in, but doesn't quite find Kirby right now. And he just takes a bullet to the face, and that will be the side of ETP taking dominance over this eastern side. We talked about how teams would rotate in, and unfortunately, the side of Sog, they just were not good enough in this first match. And you now see here, the likes of as well, 29 struggling. They've lost one member and they've also got one knocked down. They are also split here in Painan. We wanted to see how they're going to be rotating further into the zone. Now that they're starting to be picked off, it's going to make it much, much more difficult with also 7 atoms coming in behind them. And they've got now time-limited moment here to get back on their feet and get back into the game as Flowers there goes down.
Juzo is basically a solo because the other teammate was AFK in Painan, so that is not good news for 29. Leaving Painan, just getting trailed from behind by 7 atoms, also struggling to come into this quarry area. And we see Immortals giving up that Painan hill pretty early, want to play more center as they approach to this north side of quarry with some cliff action. They're very strong high ground that they can claim, and that is them heading towards that. Now for the scout, let's have a look at the beautiful high ground that I'm talking about, and this is quarry right here, ladies and gentlemen. But they may come into contact with SpecialX quite soon. It's not as close as we want to say, but look at Juzo trying to make things work while he is solo, holding that tower, and will just take one out. And but 7 atoms knows his position, and he will just get pinched right here as he have some sweet little maneuver, and there's still some chance. There's still some chance with that brilliant drop shot. Almost take one down, but the rest of the support will come in now, and there's 7 atoms taking that one down. 29 down to Suppress, who is still in his cute costume in Painan, so that is a wrap for that fight.
The bunny is in Painan, and he's gonna get chewed up by the blue zone. There's gonna be some rabbit for dinner. But it will be also now the side of KUMA Germany trying to take those pot shots straight onto the side of FASTboys. Look like they have found one. They're also down one member as well. And on the edge of zone, they're going to have to start to think as well. Now maybe it's time to start rotating in, my friends, and start getting a good position because they are on that low ground. They do have, of course, FASTboys on that high ground in front of them. They're going to have that difficult time, of course, making uphill in that potential battle. Also, the snipers, the war of attrition right now is Payne also looking to try reposition.
That's going to be a scary rotation, just trying to go get away from the situation for like the FASTboys, and they are really, really fast right now, but whether that's in their favor, I don't know. And for that 3-way fight, that is them pulling away from KUMA, I believe, or was... No, Fast was the one in the middle, and they were initially sandwiched by KUMA Germany and the side of Team Pain. So that's them getting into a new position, but Immortals are here to control.
Man, Immortals with their position, they've been adaptive here in this first game. They're now taking control, looking like Sinven there will... Sinven, you gotta be careful, you gotta move, you gotta maybe throw that grenade one way or another, because FASTboys are coming at you, and as we say, they are coming at you lightning speed. Simba, the only one here looking to try find a grenade onto Jury. Venom will go down to about half HP, but it's not good enough yet. Here comes the support from the rest of Immortals, though, from behind. Looking now, this 2-1-1-1 split here on the side of Fast versus Immortals.
Essentially a 3-1. Essentially a 3-1-1 to look down the hill to capitalize on that position. So that is pretty standard for them. But this can take forever, Highland Wolf.
I think it is, to be honest. I think this is now a battle of who's going to peek their head out first, who's going to come up from smelling the bushes on the ground down. It will be Drury getting sniped down by the enemies of Immortals. Immortals pick off one, and now it's going to look to be engaged, but a grenade almost finds a double by Kenny, but Kenny will have to now retreat. They know where that grenade comes from, but it will be Simba getting popped by Venom from behind. And now Venom and Kenny moving their way in, but the grenades come back down from Immortals in return, trying to find one. Also, all the meanwhile, we have the side of, course, KUMA Germany rotating in potentially from behind with 7 atoms underneath in the side of Immortals. So it's going to look like these third parties if they don't finish this fight up soon, Tarzan.
That's exactly what I was thinking. This can take forever, but the third parties can change this as we have this shift going to the western side. There's so many fights going on. This is also some clash between SpecialX and the side of... what's that team again? That is going to be Necrotic Esports on this northeastern side, trying to hold this down, but it's not going to be an easy position. Get out of so many teams looking this way. The mountain side that they have to run up to is not going to be easy for them, and this is going to be some how should I say this? Some standoff for quite a while, I think, on this northeastern parts as well. But we also have Team Pain trying to stop some rotations coming from Team They.
Pain on this high ground also was adapted there now with their position to try stop Faye on their rotations. That blue zone picks them apart and puts them into a position they don't want to go, but that grenade does not go over the rock. It won't find reflex. The explosion will not land, and Ragnar's still in a bit of trouble. Only got the Uzi out, trying to maybe snake his way up, try find the shots, but just gets deleted by the side of Pain as they make their way further down into the zone. And I'm also interested to see how Sons of Odin, because look at their position right now on the map, all the way out on this eastern side, are going to be struggling. You see them now getting chewed up by the blue zone, and they needed to be rotating faster.
Sons of Odin from the southeastern parts of the map. Also from that part of the map is ETP, but they just overtake Sons of Odin there. They're now choked in that blue. It's not going to be easy for them. I think this is a time to just give all your first aids to one of your teammates and just try to heal up as much as possible, because a lot of teams will fall in this coming few minutes as well.
Of course, now this zone really getting dangerous, already moving into phase 6, as we also see the side of 7 atoms making their way closer. The smoke's coming out for support, as we do see one of them get knocked down. We've decided Fast up in front, but Kenny just gets sniped by Simba, deleted out the game. See you in Miramar as they go down to 2 people now. Immortals not done with this fight just yet.
They are going to get pushed from behind. Look at this. What's his name again? Bizzaforta. Okay, I will shout at you for not carrying the clan tag, but he is doing the absolute correct thing right now. Slowly crawling into zone, not to underestimate the gatekeeping ability from Immortals and Simba. And that is them trying to breach this. Look at the middle compound. The strongest compound of the circle will be held by Necrotics.
Yeah, the fact that Necrotics have actually just sniped away the center of this zone with all of these teams like Immortals, like Fast, that were looking to try to be adapted with also 7 atoms coming here. It's going to be this war on the southeastern side. It's now 7 atoms, and it just runs down one of Immortals, and with another going down, Immortals just out of their game. And it will be the side of Fast now, also looking to gatekeep away the side of the Overtake as they try getting their way into the zone.
That is absolutely correct. That is exactly what they have to do, Highland Wolf. They have to clear whatever's behind. If they are too focused on the next rotation, they will just get backstabbed. So that is Fast doing exactly what they as they should. That is Darlene, the last one standing for VD as he slowly gets chipped away by the blue. He can still stab though, but Fast may be able to find him.
The fact that Fast here have this high ground, the fact that the blue zone now in phase 6 is just going to absolutely destroy these teams that have not been fast enough. But Jury trying to find one also gets taken out in backside by the side of these teams in the center, by the side of Necrotic. But 7 Atoms, Porter trying to keep himself alive as the rest of them go down. Will lose his life to the blue zone, will not make him into the game. All the meanwhile, inside the zone, it does seem like now the Familia are looking to be the force here by the side of Via, separated out of the game and deleted away. And now it will be in control, this zone, by Necrotic.
My god. There's sometimes with this type of zone, you just get pushed so easily, but they hold it down okay, but they will just continue to do that as they get the circle, get a knock, and the finish as well onto Mirror. That is the full team up for Necrotic still alongside 4 other teams. Team Pain is also in here strong.
The 2-2 split from the side of Necrotic, also the buildings here, well, Pain and also the rest of these teams that need to now move up as well, need to try with SpecialX on the backside, with the fact of course KUMA Germany could play upset to Pain. Pain need to be aware of this, that there are teams, there are players behind them. They cannot just purely be focusing on Necrotic in front.
I think this might be a win for Team Pain. I know they are 1 man down, but I'm just gonna say it, Highland Wolf. They have rich lines that can peek and shoot, and the position of Necrotic are very predictable as they continue to feel the pressure coming from Team Pain.
But keep in mind is where this zone goes here, Tarzan, because in phase 8, if it comes to that, that's going to be the decide of which team will win this match. Whether it will be Pain or whether it be Necrotic, who has to make it back into the zone for the next phase. But look at the fact that one has been knocked down as well, bringing Pain down to 2 members, and the fact that the side of Necrotic still have control of this zone. They now have to reset this 30-second timer trying to revive. I don't think it's a smart idea. They need to also be looking as a team here as a whole to try find a position back in the game.
The flank also coming through from the side. That can really change stuff. Landing some shots is 24k, but he will just go down.
He misses his opportunity, and now it will be decided Necrotic in trouble. You've got one in the smoke cloud, but the smoke cloud is disappearing, and it will be Kalula there. Kalula, will be now in danger, as the side of Pain will have sight of them moving back in. The second smoke comes down to try revive their teammate. Is now they have this wall of vision here from the side of them, but a grenade over the top, and there goes the double, and it will be Pain. Now looking so much stronger, and it will only be Addy alive. Can Addy pull it off? No, he will not. And Pain, with the grenade, with the beautiful snipe through the smoke, the vision was not there, but they did not need it. Pain, take the chicken dinner.
What did I say? I'm just gonna let that sink in, Jake. I think that, of course, the Circle's done their fair part of the work to push the Necrotics out of that compound, but Team Pain just held it down. That is a 10-kill chicken dinner for them, starting strong in tonight's lobby. Necrotics will just grab that second place. They had some good compound defense. The Circle were in their favor as well. 6 kills, second place. KUMA Germany with the third place with 1 kill. SpecialX 1 kill and the 4th position. At 5th, we have 7 Atoms. EU with 6 kills. At 6th place, we have the FASTboys with 5. LF with a 7th place finish and 6 kills. Hate Gaming unfortunately went out at 8th with 2 kills. Mihi tried his best to get that placement point. Was very, very solid given the fact that they've lost 3 early. I'll just leave the rest for Highland Wolf to talk about. If he can see the screen clear enough, if not, I can do it.
I do. For now, we'll see. VD overtakes there in 9th position. with 2 kills. We've got Immortals in 10th with 2 kills there. Surprisingly, they got 10th position considering the early rotations there. Just got a bit caught out. We do have the side of PDX in 11th position with 1 kill. Sons of Odin in 12th with 3. It will be ETP in 13th with 3 kills. 14th will go to Team They in with 3 kills, sorry, there as well. And 29 will also be there in 15th position with 1 kill. It will be SOG in the rear with 16th position in 1 kill as well.
And that will be the wrap for game 1, guys. I wasn't ready for Sanhok, you know, sometimes it's just so crazy for game 1, but it's always good to have something new, and that will be a wrap for game 1. And Highland Wolf and myself will see you all in a few minutes in the second map, which is the Desert of Miramar. Do stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. So game 2 is about to start, should happen in 1 to 2 minutes. So let's have a chat about that game just now, Highland Wolf. What do you think? What do you think? What will we be looking out for in this game 2?
Oh man, what a crazy game, number one. Teams that we fought, like Immortals, like 7 Atoms, like even the side of Fast, who were rotating early on to try get those good positions inside the zone, just couldn't handle the wide rotations that were happening later on, phase 5, phase 6, phase 7, where it actually went over to the side of Necrotic Esports and Pain Gaming. And honestly, Pain Gaming, CIS aggression 101. Straight up Tarzan right there. What you expect to see in the CIS region, where they're down against a wall. They get one knock against them. They retreat back to get the revive. Get it off. Do manage to dodge the flank shots coming from 24 hours from the side of Necrotic. And then return the kill. Snipe down one in smoke. Grab another with a grenade, explode them down into the ground, and then just take it down at the end. What? Oh man, juicy stuff.
Yeah, I also want to talk about Hate Gaming as well. Like, very strong squad. I've seen them win many things the past month, and not the best game for them just now. But and that would be some concern. Like, for me, like for them, the early clashes that they may not expect, it's really hard. They know how to play wide rotations. The macro game is very strong, but if those early clashes happen again, I really want to see them coming out ahead. And yeah, we're waiting for the lobby to fill. Seems like we may have 2 trios, but I might be wrong. 16 teams, guys. I've forgotten how many will proceed to the next round, so I need to find that out for everyone. But we will be heading into this game 2 right now, and I just love Mirror, my man. I love it so much. The desert. We have 2 of those tonight. Funny enough, the irony, Winter Festival, we will have 2 games in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly bringing out our ice creams to make it a little bit more wintry in terms of summer heat on Miramar. I mean, look at all of these players raring to go, getting on the dunes of Miramar, looking to try get their points back up or retain their point lead in game number 2 here. You see all of these teams, and you mentioned like Hate Gaming, particularly a team here that went down earlier in the first game. They lost multiple members, went down to 1, didn't get a good finish in the first match. And yes, that might be down potentially to Sandhawk being just such a crazy map and being the first map for tonight, but that's still no excuse. You still need to be ready to go. You still need to be ready for that fast-paced aggression, and we saw that from the likes of Pain, we saw that from Necrotic, and even to an extent Immortals Fasties early rotations coming in. And I want to see these teams like Hate Game really step it up and show us why they should be a threat in this tournament.
It's going to be a slightly harder now, Highland, now that they're playing as a trio. So also playing as a trio is PDX as well as 7 Atoms EU. So that will be them needing to show us how they can still play this. I mean, technical issues, connection issues can be a thing, and that will be them with some issues at the start, but doesn't stop them from playing a good game. We have this playing path going from Campo Militar towards Monte Nuevo, so a pretty northern playing path, making areas like Los Leones and Impala quite hard to reach, and you know, it's about adaptation, Highland Wolf, right? Like the vehicle spawns will be a very important piece of knowledge that they need to utilize to the maximum right now. Not a lot of teams are actually dropping to the north of that playing path. We have VD going towards Cruz de Val, El Arsa, we have Immortals, but there's an abundance of team going over the Graveyard and Minas Generalis area right now.
And talk to me a little about here, Tarzan. You talk about cars, Minas Generalis, La Bendita area of congestion. Also, look at that rainbow of color in El Pozo as these teams drop over onto the western side. Where should these teams realistically, let's say El Pozo here, where are they going to find these vehicles?
Will be around the main roads, and I mean, in El Pozo you've got some parked within the city as well, for sure, but it might not be the consideration right now. Of course, the phase 1 circle would dictate a lot of that, and would go to pretty center of the map, off the western side, and that will actually place a lot of these teams in the circle, so that will be a good news for a lot of them. Look at this congestion. Let's head over to El Pozo right now. We have Team Pain, the winners of game 1 in here, and around the city as well we have on that northern side, western side, Sons of Odin on there. PDX, the trios are also in here. Some shots being fired already by Team Pain, finding a rotating member from Team Sog early on.
The fact of this congestion of teams over in El Pozo, despite it being a big, fairly sizable city here, it won't be enough to hold all of these members, especially the fact that we're on the edge of the zone. So teams are going to be wanting to rotate fairly quickly, I'd imagine, seeing all the parachutes go down earlier on, and try get a position outside of El Pozo and try gatekeep the enemies coming on those late rotations and punish them for not being as speedy and efficient as themselves. But it does look like on the other side it will be Necrotic versus Hate Gaming, and Hate Gaming once again losing a member here early on. Not what we wanted to see, and they just need to be more adaptive. They need to be more together, because you see the split right now. One of them here, in terms of the size of Phantom, just making their way around this building, trying to peek with the Uzi. But in this long-range open fields, it's going to be a little bit tricky.
Me trying to support from long range with the Winchester, I will give him that one if he takes it. But not going to be easy for them once again. Down to 2 members early around the area. Not just Necrotics, 29 has a big split around this area. La Bandita, Minas Generalis, Graveyard. They're making me say all the names on this map. But the more grouped up is Elef and Minas Generalis, and that is them trying to hold it down. The backstab can happen from this solo from 29, and that is going to be Juzo as he provides that footstep, and he might just get pinched very early on, Highland Wolf.
The fact that 29 here on their own to try really be quick at escaping here, and it will be the escape artist Juzu to try get back up this hill, looted up that one shack, and will go back to his team and try to survive another day. Will be able to do so. It won't be La Familia getting a return kill. But look at the split right now from the side of 29. You've got that far 1-2-1 split, and as we actually hold that up, because Hate Gaming here are now down 1 member. Phantom will definitely drop, and Michi looks like 24 hours looking to try redeem himself, but the snipes go wide. They're not wide enough. It's bringing him down to just a sliver of health. And naturally will protect him down. Also in the buildings will provide him some cover, and Michi barely getting away.
Necrotics want to take every single piece of kill right here. That is Addy sending it in, and will hold this down, will stop me from rotating completely. But also in the area is 29, and that is Flowers. Trying to rotate around with that pickup, will be living for another day. But many clash happening everywhere. El Pozo, let's not forget that is going to be a crazy one. And but also here for Paradox. Paradox Waffles will clash with SpecialX. Not the most usual position for that fight is on this western side, and that is Supreme trying to hold this down against that push. They've lost 2 already. The push will continue to come in. Oh my god, ETP lost the 3rd one. And Tubescene? Just doing what he needs to survive this one.
He's like, I see my team going down, but I've got this shack, and it is my shack, and you will not take it from me. You do not know I'm here if I don't open this door, and if I can't see, you cannot see me. But there they will stand in the corner. It's going to be a difficult rotation for the side of ETP Esports, the SpecialX just tear them apart in this early game. And it will also provide actually Paradox Waffles at now time to rotate potentially out as well, or reposition here to take advantage of SpecialX. But it is SpecialX with this 2-1 split right now. You do see they have had one knockdown, they have lost one, so they are weakened by the fights that they have been taking earlier on. Then this could be a factor.
And that is also Hate Gaming gone, by the way, so... Did we curse them, Highland? We probably did.
I think we did.
And I'm so sorry. I do like the team. I know the managers well. I will go send an official apology. And that will be them down early. And this shall continue on this western side. Paradox and SpecialX holding this fight down to 3 versus 3 right now. Can be quite interesting. Has a spot in the circle. And also, bear in mind, El Pozzo, although it was very congested early, a lot of these teams will just rotate away. Sons of Odin still in that city. But Team Pain, the winners of Game 1, has moved away for a more center position.
Yes, the hills here, they are providing the cover just slightly, albeit for the side of SpecialX, but you see Paradox, they're rotating a little bit closer here, and you actually see them moving even further towards them. And the fact that you actually see the side of a Wizard, they're separated away from the rest of SpecialX, although yes, he can provide that support from long range, and he can actually peek out and grab those snipers onto the players, as you see there coming down off the hill when they start to be in more open ground. It is potentially dangerous. If Paradox are able to get on top of these 2 members on the hill, it's going to be completely useless.
Is a pretty good split from SpecialX, just trying to pinch out this one guy, but Kazan was on the other side trying to take some yummy kills as well. But with no high ground as well, they will be forced to split, and that is also more alone than we could imagine, just trying to like prone behind that rock, and will not be able to grab more information for now. But also interesting for this game, Highland Wolf, is Team They drop around this 2 teams on that western side of that playing path, but they will opt in for that rotation along the western road, and they have those very, very uncontested and calm phase 1. In the middle zone as well, we have the FASTboys there, and but you know what needs to be fast? My camera control, because 7 Atoms is in here to show what they are made of. They are putting pressure on top of the Immortals. Not quite Immortal is Simba, as he went down early, and they will still need to come in. The 2 coming in that pickup right now is here to support Iwi.
You see the 2-1-1 split. Make it now just a 1-1-1 split. Excuse here for Immortals. Is now you also have the enemies, of course, 7 Atoms inside the compound, looking to be engaged upon by this 2-1 split for Immortals. They have come together, and it will be up to Killer to try find that grenade over the top, trying to angle it, cooking it up. Can he find Kiwi? The grenade will not land on either end for both of these teams, cooking up another, but he has to be careful he doesn't get caught out, because look how open his position is. Still another member of 7 Atoms to rotate up here, and being so open, they could go down.
That is actually Killer. Oh my god. Take it away.
Tarek's getting knocked up, but in return, 7 Atoms lose 1. Peeked up, comes back down. It will be Iwi finding 1, and also keep an eye, of course, on Laura Bevan behind. Does manage to find first, gets a knockup, and that will be 7 Atoms now in some real danger, because it's only now 1 remaining for squad, but also only 1 remaining inside of Immortals as they lost 1. It will be the long-range fight as Leora tries to find their way back in to not only their teammates, but to try get back into this fight and get the secondary engage before this smoke dissipates, before these now revives have gone off by Team 7 Atoms, and now that they will have this 2-1 advantage. Also, smoke goes out for Immortals. They will now try to revive their own teammates, but it doesn't matter because a beautiful grenade comes from Putin, and Putin will take down the entire side of 7 Immortals here. 7 Atoms do kick the triple.
Bit of a drawn-out fight. It could have gone either way. Off angles working out for Immortals initially, but 7 Atoms Duo holding it strong on one side, the ridgeline were in their favor as well. So that will be them with this early squad wipe. Well done to them. Let's head back to the rest of the map as I try to find myself a bit lost because that is ETP gone. ETP's gone out at 14th place, Highland Wolf.
Oh man, ETP Esport, they looked like they had the engagement there. The engagement was very needed. But as we mentioned, Paradox, they were just a little bit too good at engaging onto ETP. ETP, they didn't use the long-range potential that they had, as we talked about earlier, to stop the hard engage of PTX coming from behind the hill, where that long-range support wasn't going to be effective as much, and then taking advantage of that 2-3 fight there from the side of PDX. They do make it out into the south end of the zone. I'm interested to see also, as you mentioned earlier, how they will rotate up into the game, as we also see teams moving potentially around high ground of the Picado Hills as well. Of course, keep in mind, Picado Hill and Samar not taken just yet, but the roads alongside it are, and that, with the zone now coming closer towards Crater Fields, is going to be a great point for, especially you see even the likes of NEC making their stand, making their vision, and seeing actually where these teams are. And from there, then you will have a view about how to rotate closer into the center of the zone.
Very aggressive split coming from Sog. Team Sog has one of the best spots in the circle right now, but getting out of there is not an easy job. That is Alka trying to hold this spot here. The rest of the team is all around this mountain to the south of Crater Fields. Another mountain held by KUMA, and the very aggressive 1-2-1 split coming from Team Pain. But that will be a very good split if they know how to play patient. They can choke the rotations from multiple teams around these mountain. But like you said as well, Highland Wolf, that could be some clash on this side to this plateau. Power grid area was up for grabs. There's Necrotics in the area, but will have one knocked from across the mountain. KUMA Germany is in here to show what they're made of.
Yeah, Ta'i, the scout, will go down, and it will be, as you mentioned, to the side of here, Necrotic said, making their stand. And also the fact that also you see Fast moving now in with their rotation. It is about who can get into a good position across that road, trying to find a strong position around that hill that we talked that Sag had earlier. And I think that now Fast are going to struggle here because they've got this road between them and straight in front of them. The fact that you've got right in front of their face is going to be such a hard rotation for them to make without realistically taking a split, maybe trying to get two members across.
But this side of 7 Atoms, they want to bring that force back. They started as a trio. They lost one in that one, but the duo are still trying to frag as they take their 5th kill and taking one away from 29 on this northeastern edge of the map. Now rotating in the last team that needs to get a position in the circle is LF, now rotating through Hacienda del Patron towards the water treatment area. Can maybe third party this fight, but to 29 very aggressive with their split as well, and for 7 Atoms can maybe hold this down, but this is a fight that is very hard to wrap up, very hard to get a knock and a finish, and that might be just a bit of a waste of a bullet there, Highland Wolf.
Yeah, the fact that 7 Atoms got that initial grenade onto 29 will provide them that time to now rotate further into the center of the zone. But on the other end of the game, we do now see SpecialX trying to gatekeep another. There's also teams there who struggle with their long-range rotation, not quite paying off because they still meet more teams, and SpecialX will make them force a rotation even further north now towards the edge of the zone and potentially find themselves caught in a hard position versus more teams.
Wide rotations after wide rotation. They gone along that road to Valdemar, now all the way back up, and they will have this spot in the circle on the northwestern edge, not quite contested yet, but look at the team still holding the previous spots in the center of the circle. Sons of Odin still in El Pozo. I don't know whether there's much for them to loot. Seems like Sever has quite a bit. Sambra, they are pretty rich players right now, so they will just bet on the next shift, as we are going to have that in a couple seconds.
Yeah, faster where this shift goes will be super interesting to see how his team rotate. Of course, you see Fast versus KUMA. Fast have made that rotation across the roadside, looking now with this zone rotation to try find a good position in the zone, but they might have actually just picked the wrong time to rotate because it goes back in their favor, and they might decide, okay, well, we're going to cross the road, now time to cross back over it again and try to keep KUMA away, because they will be the ones at the disadvantage. But despite the fact that they have more to rotate to get this center of the zone, they do still have the high ground, and you see that paying off is Fia just dive in here between the shots of Worth It. Can't quite find the price tag onto Fia.
Look at this shift, Highland, with the hard shift going to the southeastern side. What did we talk about? The plateau, right? The Picardo Hills, Pargrit area was untouched for such a long time. That will place so many of these teams out of the circle, and KUMA has a good spot. Necrotics has that spot, again blessed by the zone now in this circle. Team Pain trying to rotate as well, being very proactive. Reflex has a spot around these mountains side on that western part of this new circle.
And look at the amount of teams still to rotate in side. 7 Adams going to have to come through the side of Wasted here and their squad. The fact that this team over on the northern eastern side will be able to hold this position only in a strong position generally for the zone, but also the fact that they're going to be stopping multiple teams from coming in from an easy rotation, and the fact that we're now approaching phase 4, phase 5, you see Sog, maybe a little bit of a slip there.
Soggy play? What the hell, man? Like, I did talk about holding this mountain. It's not easy to escape from, but 4 damage is not one thing that I thought about, which I should. And but that shouldn't be a big problem as Alka rotates around with the pickup and will pick him up. Broody will still be in this game, but look at 7 Atoms go. They are here to win this, maybe. Killer and Portin continue to put some pressure down, and they just really want to take these kills. They need to move now. The blue zone is now closing. Yeah. They've got 800 meters to go. That is not going to be easy. Look at all these teams on the northern side of the map. They just really need to be decisive right now. That is Killer trying to find his car maybe, and that will be them trying to pull away, prioritizing that rotation. I think Sog may want to hold that position with just the high ground. They can overlook a lot of these teams and maybe kill them on rotation, but of course that will mean that their positions given away, and the later rotation in the next phase can make it really, really scary.
The fact is SpecialX here also rotating in between these two teams, and how dominant, despite the fact they've only got 2 players, 5 kills so far, SpecialX have looked at holding not only the El Pozo area, but now rotating in to try pick up more kills versus the side of KUMA Germany, who have also just looked so dominant on this hillside, looking to try keep their position on the edge of the zone away from the side of SpecialX, but have to be careful because Fia are behind them. They can't get too complacent with the fact that they do need to perhaps make it a little bit closer to the zone as well, because if that zone, keep in mind, does shift further south, these teams are going to be in a real difficult position with that road in the open land that separates the north and the south side. Cause a lot of gunfire, a lot of bloodshed, but as if the zone goes further down.
And we have the next shift as well. It will actually help a lot of these teams because they are waiting and trying to come in from the western side, the northwestern side, and we will have a shift towards the western part of this new circle. But look at Sons of Odin still stuck in the open, and look at the SpecialX with the flank. That is them finding that member who was gatekeeping them. Moses will need to trade, but that is SpecialX still holding it strong here. Sonic slowly bleeding out in the blue, but just the teammate putting all the work in there, now holding that spot, but both of these teams will have to move out of this area.
There's also Sag getting dropped by Pain Gaming right now on the other end of this mountainside. 7 Adams also versus Fast. GZ Pain grab one, but in return it does look like they have lost multiple. You see the side also 7 Atoms now trying to control this compound versus side of Fast. A 3-1 split from Fast. A grenade from Immortals actually, should I say, goes over, blocks the exit and the entrance, if you like, into the building. Also buying their teammate Weed some time to really escape alongside the smoke road. They will be able to potentially come together. But the upset is here with the side of Necrotic. Also moving in to try snipe out Weed. It's an open garage here of players. There's an open garage of potential for kills from Necrotic, but they don't find any for now. And that is a little bit of a missed opportunity, particularly with even more squads coming from behind.
I was saying if I were Kahlua, I would wait for support, but look at that 1-2 split. The other 2 of them were just on the southern side. So Kahlua is trying to do all that by himself, trying to third party that one. He can still pick up some because Fast 2 knock on them right now. 7 Atoms is in this. They were taking that 2v4 and they now may be able to grab this.
The fact that Necrotic 7 Atoms team up anti-tactics straight through the doors. Hello, 7 Atoms, they find the double and make it a quadra drop down from Fast, as they will be eliminated in 13th position, sorry, should I say. Now it will be also now time the rotation for KUMA Germany finally to try and make it in. Sliver of health, Khalid making their stand into the edge of this mountainside, does survive. Worth it picks up the perpetrators that were trying to take him down. All the while, SpecialX inside a shack of their own here, looking to make it spicy with a Molotov.
That is very possible as he throws that in, but where is that happening? He just missed it by a little bit, but that is Sonic taking that one. KUMA Germany trying to come in under immense pressure from the high hills. Look at Sog still in that position. They've bet for it and they've taken it, but for how long? The next shift would go over to the other side. It's just ping pong bouncing around Highland Wolf, and in the position in the circle we have Paradox still in there. LF have been playing slow, and they will take a spot on that eastern edge. Team Pain is in here, Necrotics. The 2 players who were on the southern side will get an entry point, and but the middle zone is not claimed right now.
It's going to be a rematch between Pain and Necrotics here for the strongest position in the zone. Sog, although they've got such a strong position on the high ground, of course they are outside of the zone. They need to make it downhill. They need to eliminate away the side of KUMA Germany to get back into this game or be chewed alive by that blue zone in the fact of the full damage once again will come back to Hortman. But on the other side as well, Fear taking down Bay. They lose 2. It's the side of Fear just smash and obliterate through their squad. They will be eliminated in 12th position and they keep themselves alive. All the while Pain moving their way further towards Necrotics to take down a second game them.
I really want to just look at how Team Sog plays this. I was just trying to, like, pun intended by the way, I say they have been a bit soggy, but maneuvering out of this hill in later phase is so tricky. You need to really know where your cars are. You need to know how to rotate safely along this, because teams will be looking at you like you are targets in training ground. And look at round 1 VD showing them why it's so scary to rotate past this area, as they lost another one. Big Mac got num up, and that is Nurik, the last one standing for VD. And Blue is ticking, and that is the last one for Sons of Odin still in there. Sog needs to make their way up. Look at that! What did I say? Woo!
Absolutely exploded down. What a time, but what an action finish. It will be a little bit of a simmer to finish off Sog, as the blue zone will obliterate them from the Miramar Dunes. So will also KUMA fall. Worth it, just trying to keep himself alive and hope that others will fall. Pain will be the perpetrators of this game to really stop enemy teams from rotating in. As you see also now Sog finally go down to the blue zone. Teams starting to drop. Only 8 remaining here. SpecialX, all the meanwhile, have been rotating in, have kept themselves alive, but Pain, they find now a double here again. Make it almost a triple. They have to try keep control of these teams rotating in from the bottom of the hill. They keep control. They do so now, trying to take also the overtake from this second match as well. they also have the oncoming threat that is Necrotics, also going to be moving in from behind, alongside, of course, Wasted and Chrono from the east.
This is crazy, Highland Wolf. 12 players in 7 teams is on average less than 2 players per team, and Team Pain has 3 of them, and that is them in the circle as well. They can maybe take the second chicken dinner of the night.
The fact that Pain are pulling off this 1-1-1 split, but the fact of their position here, Tarzan, because they actually have this zone play for them. You see also Reflex now stopping the rotations from the east coming in. They're stopping the south, they're stopping the eastern rotations. They take down Wasted and side over, they will coming in from the edge. Also Necrotics will Reflex just having a time of his life, turns one way, gets 1 kill, turns another, gets a second, gets a triple, and then Reflex will be really the MVP for the side of Pain, now moving their way and picking the kills up, already up to 4.
Lumbermere trying to play spoiler, and that is him tanking a little bit, now coming into support. Look at them just fragging the way like crazy. That is 7 atoms gone right now. PDX still in this one. Nurik actually made it in, and that is really still in here. We're down to 4 teams now. All those teams got cleared out by Team Pain. They have the circle, they have the skills, they have the number of players, they have a position, and look at them just watching, but Sonic is there to strike.
Sonic not having any of it, deletes away one of Pain. Take that, he says. It's now it will be the remaining 2 members, 1 versus 2. But it is a high ground, as you say, in control Pain, despite the fact that we're now in phase 7. They also have the zone in their favor. Both of these solos will have to move out of their position in the next 5 seconds before that zone just chews them up completely. You see SpecialX still alive, just managing to keep their team now in the running in 3rd position, potentially looking for a 2nd place finish versus Pain. But of course, he is after that chicken dinner. If he can find 1 more pick, if either of these squads, even Paradox can find 1 more pick and Pain, then it opens the door.
It will be a game for Mets as well, and as always, the Reflex. Sonic actually has some spot, maybe the ridge lines that he can play to make this work, but that is also Team Pain stopping that from happening, throwing some smokes down that way. Will want to take the stronger spots, and that is them taking away that ridge line. Sonic will need to challenge this. He noticed the car sounds coming through as he peeks again. The blue zone is now ticking. That is him going into that blue. Reflex is here, and the Reflex will come through. Reflex takes that one, and that might be Team Pain taking the 2nd chicken dinner of the night.
For sure, here Tarzan, they cover themselves up with 1 covering the other. Reflex blocks the rotation from SpecialX and denies them the 2nd place finish. They will fall down in 3rd, and it will be Paradox Waffles to check the 2nd, and also Pain with the double chicken dinner for the first 2 matches.
Whew. Well deserved. They kept 1 underneath Team Sog there, and lost that player, like I said, so hard to leave that mountain. And if you want to play it, you can't just know how to get up, you need to know how to come back down. But there's Team Pain with the tactical split coming strong, just knowing the limits of the ridges and the players having a very distinct role to play that. That's well-deserved chicken dinner with 8 kills going over to them. But the trios, we were skeptical, but PDX is in here to take 2nd place with 3 kills. Sonic and SpecialX will get a 3rd place finish with 7 kills. VD, we haven't seen them much in game 1 here. Is them taking that 4th position with 3 kills. LF with a 5th place finish and 1 kill. Necrotics with 4 kills. Nope. Oh my god. That is 6 kills. Clan tax. My pain. So painful. But look at 7 atoms, Highland Wolf. 10 kill points and a 7th place finish. Although they started as 3 players. The duo's really, really making it work. So props to Killer and Potin for putting that... my god, putting that effort in. And very strong finish from them. KUMA Germany taking an 8th place with 3 kills. And I will leave the Soggy Boys to you, Highland Wolf.
I mean, the Soggy Boys just one of the victims of 7 atoms. just want to quickly touch on the fact that 7 Atoms have so many kills is because despite the fact they got caught out by Pain positioning late game, they were actually in a good position themselves to take down Sog, to take down KUMA, to take down the rest of these teams moving in off that mountainside, even SpecialX to some extent. And whittling these members down, getting those knockups, they actually, despite the fact they got all those kills, did actually struggle because they were getting those kills to then really adapt to the zone moving into Pain, which is why they fall down so later. But as we say, Sog EU boys will move in 9th position with 2 kills. Team Bay in 10th with 2 will be Sons of Odin in 11th with 1 kill. Team 29 will be in 12th with, unfortunately, 0. Also with 0 there will be Fast in 13th, ETP Esports in 14th with 1 kill, Immortals in 15th with 1, and the side of Hate, unfortunately, bringing up the rear here, a little bit disappointing in 16th position.
Yeah, and also disappointing is myself. I was trying to use this overlays. I forgot to change it. It says match 1 center all game just now, Highland Wolf. So let's not make that mistake. I will change it to look. Bada bee, bada boom. Okay, it's now Erangel, and we will have the correct one for the next one. And yes, that will be us going for a short break, and we will see you all in match 3, Erangel. No mistakes this time. I'll see you all soon. Hey, welcome back.
Ta-da!
So,
Game 3.
Game 3 soon. And you know what are we looking at, Highland Wolf, is Sons of Odin. So they were, in Game 1, they were a little bit slow on those rotations. Obviously for Sanhok, a lot of them go on foot, so those rotations can be a little bit more tricky. But in Miramar as well, they're the only team that dropped El Pozo that decided to stay there, but they just got punished for rotating a little bit late, trying to breach through those hills controlled by Team Sog there, and that is them having two rough games in a row. So I want to see them redeem themselves in this one.
Man, great point there as well. And I think what we have seen and who's been winning these, of course, yes, it's been pain both games, but it's been down to the fact that specifically the positioning that Pain have had in game number 1, where you mentioned they had the rocks there to keep themselves under cover from fire, from the huts, from the side of Necrotic, but also in game number 2, the obvious advantage of that final open zone, having the dips, but also having the high ground versus enemies that all needed to, as we mentioned, to cross that road, which was going to be a danger point coming into the later stage of the game, and also for teams rotating down into the sort of hills from the top. And again, Necrotic there, little bit of mispositioning, can't rotate down onto Pain for a second game in a row and got eliminated out of the game.
Yeah, and game 3 will be starting soon. Seems like we will lose Paradox in this one because they didn't have enough players. We do need 3, and yeah, I think ideally for casting as well, we want to see at least 3 players carrying the tags as well per game. So that will be us down to 15 teams this game. And we have 2 trios as well. 7 Atoms will play this as a trio once again. And KUMA Germany is another one. So let's bring ourselves over to the game screen. Sorry about that one. And
no, is it?
And off you go.
I was going to say, like, the fact that we say, okay, yeah, they've only got 3 members, but you saw the 7 Atoms in KUMA Germany in game number 2. They can still rotate, they can still put up a fight, and you saw with 7 Atoms absolutely obliterating, with obviously then Pain obliterating them and taking the final kills away from them that they could have potentially gotten game number 2 on that open kind of finish with the zones there. I think the 7 Atoms, they just need to be a bit more aware, first of all, for themselves, of where they are actually positioned. If they go for the kills, how will they then be able to get out of that position they're in? Because they're staying there for the kills, they're going to be a little bit later on those rotations, could get caught and taken advantage of. And for the other side of KUMA, they need to also be aware of their positioning. Of course, the obvious being able to cross that road soon, but that plane path looks pretty spicy. So.
Very, very spicy. The western plane path going basically through North Georgia Pool, through the Gatka Fields to that therapy area. So a lot of these teams who likes to play, for example, Farm, Yasnaya, very highly favored position, might be a little bit hard for them. Yeah, Milta as well, very strong, and a strong mid-game mansion area like around that, and shelter, the plateaus like Potato Hill, etc. So that will be a very interesting one. Especially for Hey Gaming. Like, I know this team, they're heading towards Rozhok. That's no surprise there. Back to their strongest roster and back to 4 players. 2 rough games for them so far. They're here to maybe redeem themselves. Look at this congestion that I didn't expect. Zaki, the ETP. Right. Going towards Zaki and KUMA Germany around the area in between Zaki and Georgiapol. And now in North Georgiapol, we have SpecialX. In South Georgiapol hospital area, we have Sons of Odin, South Georgiapol Crates. The winners of both games 1 and 2. Team Pain in that area right now. Team Sog having a bit of a split on that north to the river position. VD got a 4th place finish, if my memory serves me correctly. We'll also go for that similar area, but we have the Necrotics going to Primosk, a quarry split from Elev, and Sosnovka military base. Not a lot of people there, but Team They will be the only team on that. But the congestion is here, actually, on these coastal compounds of the main island. We have the 7 Atoms here. Look at those colors on that mini-map. It's a 1v1v1 in this compound. Tarix from Immortals, also one of the FASTboys, Vitoni here.
The fact that we've got their own little house, they've got their own spot, and they're going to look to try, see who's their neighbor, take them down, and finish them out of this third match early on. I am loving actually the fact that Tarek's getting on now have good vision of the rest of these teams, both Fast and Seven Atoms around him, which is interesting for Immortals, particularly because they are this very split team in their drop. You saw one of them even going as far out towards the inland area, away from the coastline. We decided sorry,
that is Simba right
Simba,
there, yeah.
And Weed will be there to stop them if they need to rotate closer in. So it's an interesting spot for Immortals right now. Could pay off if they find a picks, but equally could be their downfall if they get flushed.
And I think these three players here are doing exactly as they need to. Like, if you proactively peek or give away footsteps, that might be just you going down. So I was waiting to make this point. Yes, exactly. They just need to play it slow and wait for the support, and that is Putin coming in, just starting to push this already. Another team of support coming in. FASTboys has a brilliant one. They know off angles. They pulled up from a different side, and that will be Immortals. Losing one early will be a 3v3, but FASTboys, that is the angle to really flank Highland Wolf. Like, for 7 Atoms to come in to support from the same side, it may just have them more choked and pinch, but they know the situation. This here trying to change that. Putin going down so low right there, but the brilliant knock comes through still from Vitoni. All of 7 Atoms behind that one stack. Oh my god, Vitoni is fragging out like mad right now.
The fact that Vitoni here is almost picked up the double, looking now to reload, the bullet's going down to 30, he has to come around the wall, can he take down a third, looks to try get the peak to help Party explode, so is Vitoni, but it doesn't matter, because it will be Fast from the other side, will take them down, and 7 Atoms, despite their car crash entrance, will fall out in the early stages of game number 3 in a wrangle. In order, meanwhile, Immortals are now on their own fight, trying to pick off the sole member of Fast here, Camper, spill away from his team, and they want revenge.
Camper just need to hold this, but the support doesn't come through quick enough. It's going to be the FASTboys just looting up 7 Atoms and missed a little bit of the window to support the teammate there. If they just made it a bit earlier, it can really work. We saw how they Weed and Jury came in with the off angle, working out perfectly to take out one of Immortals, also wiping the trio off of 7 Atoms there. So, but there's just some crazy fights, and that is some early action, and the way they played it was fair, Highland Wolf, I'd say.
Yeah, it certainly was, and I think that Fast, despite the fact they lose one on the outskirts, they definitely have a strong now position to now rotate towards Pachinki, make that rotation even towards the center of the map, as you see that zone has, of course, shifted in favor of that plane path, thankfully for these teams on that southwestern side. So it will be potentially Gatka feels a strong position teams to be looking to get into come the end of phase 1, start of phase 2, and start to see where that zone begins to shift. We do see a more so looking to potentially gatekeep away Fast from the rotation out of the coastal line and into the center of the zone. Although Zaki fight is going to be happening between ETP here and you mentioned the rest of these squads up north, this cluster of teams. ETP already losing one. Destroyer has gone down. They are in the open fields. They're going to struggle with the long range power of SpecialX, trying to find a vehicle but cannot be fast enough with the snipe there from SpecialX. They will miss out on that potential knock up, and it will be ETP to rotate out and the fight will dissipate.
And that is just the way to play it early. We didn't expect so much congestion around Zaki, but it is what it is. This phase 1 circle complements the plane path, so a lot of teams have a position in there. So many open spaces, strong spots to claim still. Pachinki is untouched. The Gatka fields can still be claimed, and but it seems like SpecialX still won a piece of this pie.
Yeah, especially they need to be careful. The fact that not only are ETP rotating around to escape, they are also now cutting off the potential disengage on the back of that hill by SpecialX. So now they need to turn their heads towards ETP and try cut off a second member, rotating in behind them, try give themselves a little bit more leeway. They might even hope that the teams further down in Georgia Pool will actually take care of ETP as you see them now moving away, fully disengaging from the fight. I think what ETP really are looking for here right now is just a way through Georgia Pool and into the center of that circle now, but they will be running into another squad that we need to be careful of.
Also, some congestion on this junction here. 29 is around this area. The full team holding this junction compound. Coming in maybe to scout is VD on their northern side, trying to come in. A lot of strong spots there, but it's not quite in the center, so they need to find a way to thread the needle and come through. KUMA in North Georgia Pool still. Hate Gaming pulled away from Rozok already, going to the center zone as we mentioned, and Team Pain, quite interesting, will just head over to Everest pretty early after looting up South Georgia Pool crates.
Yeah, I love the fact that Pain here rotate onto Everest. They're going to have that high ground. I wanted to say that maybe 29, they'd be more adapted and a better position for over on the other side of the river, where we can actually catch more rotations crossing the bridges and use those as choke points. And you see them actually going to be doing that alongside, of course, BD as well, making that scout rotation. And this is where Pain, with their positioning on Everest, will have that advantage, being able to pick off potential rotations from both of these teams. Meanwhile, on the other side, at east, we have Hate Gaming trying to redeem themselves from, quite frankly, a miserable first two games here versus Fast.
Just finding some angles onto Vitoni. The guy who showed us was what he's made of. He will hold that position just on that Pachinki hill, basically. But Hate Gaming has blood in their mouth. Swave just pulls up. Beast is here as well. Swave with the beautiful opening knocked onto Fast right there.
The fact that Swave gets that knock up now, with also the fact that Fast was split on this 1-1-1. The coverage from Fast didn't play out. They're going to now struggle. They lose a second, and we're trying to cover the Fast rotation, but it's already blocked by Swave, and also Michi there. One is now also we trying to find one, does manage to pick up one kill, and then looks to try find the first before he gets maybe taken out himself. Behind me, here comes the pot shots of another of Hate Gaming. The car comes in, deletes him away, and drives back up to the rest of his team to go closer into the zone. And Hate will pick up 3 kills in total versus Fast. In the middle row, look at Everest now with Pain. They're in a little bit of a tricky position here, Tarzan, because they're starting to have teams rotate not only in one position, but all around them. So now have to choose how they want to dismount and move themselves off the Everest mountain.
The 2-2 split coming from Team Pain. Incredible control possible by them, but like you said, if there's more than one team's pulling up, it can be really, really tricky. That is VD going from that western side, and we'll find some positions, this compound very typical in here, with some lips of the mountain to be used. Look at the center zone. Finally, Immortals are rotating, but surpassing them is Team They. They went to the southern island, and they are now surpassing quite a few teams here, coming into this area of control around Pachinki Hill maybe, and maybe giving the side of Hate Gaming some more kills, because they are showing strong this game so far, Highland Wolf.
Yeah, the fact that they here are going to have this position with obviously the red zone there will mean that teams aren't going to rotate maybe so quickly up into this zone. They're going to be a bit more wary, but also now look for a position past that zone into now the ruins, south of ruins area, where it's a little bit more open, where it's still a little bit more flat, and you can have that control of the center zone while avoiding the quite rocky, bumpy area of ruins and Headshot Valley up above that. The teams that Pain you also see moving off the mountainside to try find a position closer, edging their way to the center as well. The rest of these teams, as you mentioned, just finding their positions as Phase 2 pops in.
Yeah, Gatka is highly congested right now. Sons of Odin, a team that we mentioned earlier, with these two pretty merciful circles. They a team that drops hospital area will come in here with not a lot of challenge. There's them finding a spot around Gatka. Also in the area we have LF and VD there, and VD can maybe get a knock because that is Necrotics trying to rotate into here, will just get pushed away by the side of VD.
The fact that VD control this outskirting post of the Everest Mountain and have this roadside in control, but also keep in mind that La Familia have also the control of Gatka Fields. All the meanwhile, though, hey, they are in trouble. They've lost one in their rotation in here, will be taken out. Worth it. Also for the side of KUMA will fall down as well. Off the mountainside will be finished off with a beautiful shot from Pain Gaming on the backside. There will now be Hate in trouble. Now going to be the next target for Pain as they move away off the mountain toward.
These might still get picked up. It's so hard though because Team Pain is so strong. They're holding this. Every team wants to have a bit of the Everest, but they are about 2 phases too late. Swave comes in here trying to support, but the suppressive fire is being delivered from everywhere. Also in that area from those squad house. 29 is in there, and the Sog also in that area.
NEC also in that kill feed pick up a number of kills for themselves as rotate in. 29 gonna pick up another on Hate and just a little position outside of the teams all around him here. No good way to rotate off the ruins doorstep, off the Everest doorstep here and make their way closer into the center of the zone. Flowers just looking to really shine here through the smoke and pick up even more. Is also La Familia have their fight of their own versus NEC and Sons of Odin.
LF holding a strong position. Like for this type of compounds, the way to play it is really to decide when to open fire, right? Like you want to get that knock and kill as soon as possible. If you allow the crash to come through, it might be a lot more hard to really execute, but they have the main Gatka compounds going strong for them. Team Pain still holding that one after losing one on that side close to Hate Gaming. Sons of Odin may be clashing with the team right now. That is them losing Insania early. Sambra is now just stuck behind a car. That is Necrotics holding that compound strong for now.
The fact that Necrotics have the cover for their building makes it so strong. And although, yes, Sons of Odin have this very interesting split, and you actually see this hard rotation from Saka here from the south end, potentially looking to catch one coming out the front door, and then allow the rest of the 2 members right behind Necrotics to then have that hard engage potential and really punish Necrotics from there. But with no real way in with these buildings, as long as Necrotics stay inside, it's going to be very, very difficult for actually Sons of Odin to make a strong engage.
Yeah, and I always talk about parking spots as well, like for holding compounds, and that is Necrotics showing how to use it well. All the cars are pretty well protected. Whoever wants to be in position to damage their cars should have their heads shot off. And let's have a look at the circle with the positions. Gatka Field still quite empty. Look at the southeastern half of the circle, basically completely empty other than Team They. And all these teams are still around this area. Baka can be in trouble right now because Immortals are coming in.
Immortals with that southern rotation, but gets one bullet into the face of Simba and backs down off the side of that mountain. Now it will be that knock-up, crucial knock-up, and that is where the split from Sons of Odin to try find an engage, not looking behind them, actually costs them. Here is the side of Immortals. Their wide rotation pays off, and now they will be the ones on looking towards the front door of Necrotics. Also, you see up on the other side of this zone, you see teams coming from the north side in. Hate making their way, finally surviving from that bloodbath that they were caught up in towards the center of the zone. Does a little beautiful flip there. Needs to get back in because you're still open field, my friend. You're still going to find a position with phase 2, now phase 3 coming in.
So scary. Sons of Odin's driving past ETP right now. Ooh. And there goes Sons of Odin.
Yeah, there go Sons of Odin, quite frankly. Yep, they just don't respect the fact that there could have been a team inside that compound. They drive a little bit too close, and there they get punished for it. And that will be a triple just going into the hands of SpecialX. But down in this kind of center of the zone, around off the edge of Everest, into the center is where the fight is really ensuing. Still 29 versus 8 for Hate, trying to put in the return kill as they find one in return. Beast now finding potentially a second if they step out of that door. Quite just yet. We'll look to try find a reposition. The long range battle will ensue.
Ruins, yeah, is in play right now, and basically a Gatka finish. So I think Ruins and Gatka is incredibly strong right now. Hate Gaming will lose. I'm not sure whether you saw that. Highland was wiped out so quick. I think it might be his 4th knock or something, and that is them losing that one. But they did put a lot of pain too onto 29 there. Look at that angle, baited out by Beast, and that is Wiki executing that one perfectly. 29 down to 1 player right now.
Yeah, using both the position for Michi and behind with Beast coming in for the rotation, keeping moving and stopping actually the side of 29 from realistically knowing where Beast was in a perfect, picture perfect there, just take down a second. Hate also now rotating in with the 3rd member. It could be Curtains from 29 here. Juzu moves up into the 2nd floor to try provide some cover with. While the shots come in, goes down to about a 3rd HP. Now has to watch the grenade goes in. The little touch of the grenade will finish him off, and 29 go down in 11th position. Hate now control a super strong combat over in Ruins if the zone goes north.
Look at Immortals here trying to stop the rotations coming from ETP. They have a good split. Simba is trying to bait all the shots, just using the ridgeline for as long as possible. They want to stop the western entry point from ETP. ETP has lost 2 already. Supreme and Sugar Daddy is feeling that pain. Immortals is in here to take this squad wipe.
But Immortals need to be careful that Simba doesn't get overcrowded by multiple members of ETP. There's only that ridgeline really protecting him from the full rain, as well as Sog rotating into this fight from the north side will be that 3rd party that Simba just won't be able to take care of and could get caught out here. There's no retreat for either team from the power of Sog rotating in from behind of Immortals. Now will be that 4 versus 2 situation, and Supreme trying to maybe open a door, open an angle, but Immortals' order, meanwhile, will pin them down, almost takes down the long-range shots onto one of the Immortals. Familia on the other end, also taking their shots and taking those kills for themselves.
2 of Team Sog has gone down on rotation. That is a slightly later rotation, making it a bit too tough for themselves. Dwas will find a spot here for now, but in a minute and a half, they will have to get a new spot. Look at that shift. Basically, to these opens, the 3 compounds that are the strongest are now all taken. VD has a spot. Team Day is there as well. Hate Gaming is there. And LF has used his main compound for quite a long time, and they have got those 2 kills. But what is the plan from now? SpecialX also here to maybe making it harder, overtaking the side of LF maybe.
The fact with SpecialX here making this hard rotation to try get themselves into the zone is smart. They will have now to cover his building, as well as Immortals will be gatekept by the blue zone. They have this strong position to get those kills now in their favor, but do have to be careful. It's still the fact that Pain control around the Everest area. Don't forget that they've not left, and also that car will be out of play. As you see, the side of BD will stop them from engaging any further for the side of SpecialX. Although meanwhile, ETP trying an interesting rotation here, trying to take down the members on top of Everest for Pain, and maybe taking advantage of the fact that Pain are a little bit too split here on the top of this mountain.
Reflex is and Mullikat is just playing spoiler right now. They want to take these 2 kills. If they force them out of position, that is Lubomir down the hill trying to stop that. ETP might be in so much trouble right now. They just made it in though, maybe, but Lubomir is there. He's there with the anchor point, but his position is being found. He didn't strike quite quick enough, but that is ETP just living for now. I think that is a mistake by Team Pain.
Yeah, the fact that Payne didn't communicate that one quick enough, but maybe ECP for their aggression will be punished. Try wrap around for the kill, but just get punished. The fact and will get both taken out for it by the hands of Hate from behind them. And Hate, with that strong position we mentioned in the ruins area against 29 earlier on, will now take control of the northern end of the circle. Here come Immortals, so Simba riding in the wide from the lion pack. Will go down, unfortunately, and it will be Iwi also in trouble. Payne will look to try take off a second. There's also SpecialX try stop the rest of them all moving in, with Luora making that quick rotation now.
It's going to be so rough. Like, all that high ground's controlled by Team Payne, and the shots coming through from the other compound as well. VD is in here. Immortal will not be able to live up to their name. There's still one in here though, but how long will that be? Not long is the answer. That is them going out at 9th position.
Immortals just save it too long for the rotation and get punished for it by all the compounds already. And it will be VD, keep in mind, with that strong central position against these teams. Also has the compounds for cover here on this high ground. We'll need to be careful with full squad of Payne coming from Everest and are a little bit split in the buildings here to engage versus a full team coming in. You've got the Familia on the other end of the buildings looking to try take a back door. While Hate versus the side of Fear. He's trying to take a shot. Can he find one? Yes, he does. Can he find a second? No, he won't. He'll get sniped down and punished for his aggression. But here comes Fox. 300 IQ grenade, perhaps. Gonna go for one. Yes, he will. And Tatty will fall down. And that will be just one remaining Fear. Will also buy time for the revive onto Beast to make that now a reset 2-on-2 fight on the edge of ruins.
It's going to be so hard for both of these teams. Look at the landscape in that edge of the circle. It's not going to be an easy one. There are some dips, but all these teams in there can just stop that rotations. We are down to 7 teams right now, 18 players. I will keep my eye on this still. The rest of the map is basically saturated. Zika from Team Day trying to get an anchorage point from the southern side, and will actually get a knock as well, but Fox is not done yet, Highland move.
The sly Fox of Team Hate looking to redeem the entire squad in their bad first game. They have
beautiful
in game number 3, and they return the double. Fox and Beast obliterate the side of Fear and move their way closer into the zone as it has moved down away from ruins and now will be in control for VD and Team Bay, who control the center. All the while, La Familia down south and Payne from the west will try to upset their central position.
My god, what did I say? Hate Gaming coming strong with the strongest roster. 14 kills right now. The duos can still deliver so much work and magic, but good luck, buddy. I did say it's not going to be an easy one. That is the knock going on to Fox, and that is Beast going out at 6th position.
Yeah, the fact that they left that rotation too late, they could finish off Team Fear early enough, does mean that they fall out, as you say, in 6. It will be this very weird zone, shifts back up to the north, and it will be only really one member of Team Bay in the center, but it will be now the rest of their squad up further north. Gonna look for that rotation to come together and gatekeep the rest of these teams moving up into the phase 5 zone. It will only be 50 seconds to move, so it's gonna have to be a fast rotation. Potentially Payne, even with a strong position to move in and kind of stop Team Bay and obliterate them from the center of the zone themselves if they're fast.
VD really needs to make this work. They are kind of on edge. They need to know the absolute limits, who to watch where, because Team Payne is controlling that little bit of high ground. Team They got a bit of entry point. Dead center right now, but the ridge lines may not be sufficient. They are still for full team up though with 4 kills, and that is a very, very strong numbers advantage for them in this end game.
But that ridgeline will protect them from Team Payne, who instead will set their sights onto VD, which in turn will also allow Team Bay to survive a little bit longer, because it's VD that have the angle onto Team Bay based on that ridgeline. The grenades will go in to try find one inside the building, but won't find Trick just yet, and it will be them to retreat potentially back to Rasta and the rest of their duo back in the other side of the compound. My like it also going to try stop that rotation. Nurik is on his own for now versus a 2 of Payne. When meanwhile La Familia will be picked off by this zone. Down goes one. It looks like a second will Evil Boy just going to set his sights with that hay bale, make best friends with it for now because he won't be moving any further into that zone as Pain make their way further in.
Pain will feel some pain right now. Lubomir tried to enter from that side, but they just have a player to hold it down. VD is still in this one. Team Pain will be down to 2 players in a matter of seconds, and that is Reflex trying to control all that northern side by himself.
Here come Bevo. Look at Ragnar jumping in like the bunnies they are, and Suka as well, going dive, and they will find Reflex. Grenade doesn't land a return kill, and that will be Pain now in trouble because My Like It is on the next for the menu of Team Vey, as he will also be on his own on the edge of zone, and VD might just have some respite with that knock up onto Reflex.
It's not going to be an easy one. VD need to really come in at the right time. But the fact that Team Pain's down to 1 player will make it even harder. This rotation off this edge might just be the end of their game. Team, they are in position. They have a 2-1-1 split. 2 to hold just multiple covers and 2 to hold the high ground right now.
But Team VD here, Tarzan, they are having that a rich air that protects them from the 2 up on the hillside, and they will have to, as you see them now, rotate down towards the rest of their team, make it a full squad fight versus VD and stop them potentially being caught out. Smoke will give them away the position for VD, and look at Big Mac trying to go for the Big Mac plays, and it will be the Big Boy plays paying off, but now he keeps himself alive and will maybe find some time, but it won't be enough.
Oh, look at...
It will be Pain when he upset from behind.
Oh!
Also deleted by Pain. My Like It isn't
what?
Yet, but will fall down to the zone, and Team Vey will pick it up by War of Pain, by War of VD against each other. They just snipe the last kill and take the chicken dinner.
Oh my god. Look at his spoiler in his bones. Like, that is his nature. He just absolutely made it hell for VD there, and VD took tunnel onto getting into that one. They should kind of have an idea though, no? Like 8 players still, and they've got 3. They have to have some more awareness, like more than what they've been showing there. But that is team. We saw how they rotate really, really wide along through that mid-game Highland Wolf. I think that is a deserved chicken dinner. Of course, comes the zone luck, but you have to be very aware and very good in capitalizing that. And that is them taking a 6-kill chicken dinner. In second place, VD with 5. Team Pain with 5 kills at 3rd position. In 4th place, we have LF with 2 kills. SpecialX, the last player, lived long enough, made it to top 5 with 1 kill. But hey, gaming, it's painful to say it. I hate it, but I do love the way they played this game. 14 kills and the 6th place finish. Necrotics with the 7th place finish and 4 kills. Team Sog will not take any kills before going out at 8th place.
9th place, Team Immortals picking up 1 kill. ETP in 10th with 1 themselves as well. Team 29 in 11 with 2 them, and Sons of Odin in 12th with 1 as well. We got the rest.
There we go.
13. KUMA Germany with 0, and only a trio there. Not a good time for him in Orangle. Maybe a better one in Miramar coming up next. Fast in 14th position with 4 kills, and in 5th place, 7 Atoms, the other trio in the rear position at 15th.
And that is game 3 done, guys. I will remember to change this now. Look, Dan, that is, we're ready for this right now. It's game 4 Miramar next, and we will see you all shortly. And we are back for game 4. Some more Miramar action. Can't complain. That's what I like. And just waiting for some teams to turn up because it's really confusing. Highland Wolf, right? It's a tournament.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a tournament.
Yeah, I thought this was like quarterfinals. I thought this was like winter wonderland, full of teams. Let's go. Let's have some really great action tonight. But the fact that teams are not showing up, man, shame on them. Because they are missing out, man. They are missing out on the epicness that is going to be Miramar on game number 4. And honestly, for me, I am going to be looking at the teams like Seven Atoms particularly. You talked about Pain maybe not being in the lobby, so I'm going to avoid them just now. But Seven Atoms being back next in line, they had some really strong positions. And if it wasn't for Pain Gaming, I think they would have actually probably taken that chicken dinner.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, people don't turn up for different reasons. 2 chicken dinners for Team Pain, right? And in the third place, just based off placement points, they've got
True.
10. So maybe they're like, I'm just going to chill a bit, play other scrims, but also waiting for KUMA Germany, who hasn't shown up strong enough tonight. Maybe that is them thinking just maybe going to sit out for this one, but what do we know? Like, you just need one really, really solid game and you're back. And so it's a shame, but we will work with what we've got. A quick update will be 47 players in the lobby at the moment, so we will not get as many teams as we want. And so yeah, they are missing out on that €450 prize, and that will come through in those final days. And that's about it, really. Hopefully they will turn up in the last minute.
Do you know what we're missing out on? It's not these games. They're really missing out on us, Tarzan. That's what they're really missing out on right now. Maybe that's why they left. Like, man, we got all these points. Like, Pain Gaming, like, dude, this Tarzan guy, I just need to, like, watch him. I just love him, like, how he casts. I mean, that's what I'd be like. Personally.
Well,
I do want to have points, more. I'd be like, let's go.
I do want to have more like viewers right now. Not going to cry about that one because a lot of these teams are actually really strong. Like, for whoever's watching, you're in here for a treat. Some top teams in here as we have that game 4 starting right now. And let's bring ourselves over to that game screen, and it will be a very interesting one. 50 players right now in that lobby for a map like Miramar. That is going to be interesting.
Oh, baby. Miramar's going to be an open one, and it's going to be a spicy one at that, I hope. I just cannot wait to see what these teams will do, and especially actually the side of Necrotic there, actually, as well, because Necrotic, for me, I feel like they've been so close to getting these chicken dinners right. In game number 1, they were second place.
Yeah, they were.
And game number 2, they were like almost there. Pain sniped them out again from the high ground. Game number 3, they had that potential, just couldn't quite get into those final zones. And I feel like going back onto Miramar, a bit more familiarity for them in terms of what we saw in game number 2. They're going to be able to improve on their mistakes that they made in game number 2. And be able to hopefully pick up that chicken dinner. I think it's just for them, their final couple zone positioning, which is what's letting them down. But this playing path looking a little bit more nice.
You know what's disappointing as well, Highland Wolf? Hate Gaming's not in here, right? Like, so Paradox Waffles pulled up. Hate Gaming's not in here. Team Pain's not in. Let's have a look through that list. KUMA actually make it through. Yeah, well done, KUMA. Don't give it quite like just yet. They can be very, very strong, and this is us with 13 teams, one trio, the trio being 7 Atoms, and this playing path, as you said, from those Irango 2.0 Oasis bit that we don't see people use enough, from there towards Puerto Paraiso. That is going to be a slightly eastern playing path as people chit-chat in all chat. I don't appreciate that, by the way.
Shush your mics! It's all chat. You've got team chats for that one, guys, but they will be dropping off the plane, and they're going to be discussing exactly where they want to be dropping based on where these parachutes are opening up, based on what they're looking at right now as they land onto the grounds of Miramar. Here we see teams a little bit more split than what we saw actually in the first game, where teams were very congested because of the playing path there was very one-sided. And I think now that we've also got Los Leones and Pala, we've got Prizio back open as well onto the game, as well as even a rotation wide down the south towards Chumacera, up maybe into the Picaro area for many of these teams. Maybe that's what they're going to be looking for. A lot more options for these teams to weigh in, and will mean perhaps a little bit more passive in a early game.
Exactly. Like you said, Los Leones is back in, so no more four-way jumps in. El Pozo opening not coming through, actually around Graveyard Minas Genera's area, but look at the congestion over at Los Leones right now. Sons of Odin's in there, 29 in there as well, same for Immortals. And SpecialX may just fight this one with the Game 3 winners, and being Team They, and that is they with the opening knock onto Kenny.
On to Kenny, they take the first one, they take the first flush as well, and he will be the first to die in this final game. Now down to the 48 alive, and well, 49, sorry, excuse me, on my fault here, but it will be decided, as you mentioned, SpecialX having that control over Team Bay, because Team Bay went further down into the port area of Puerto Prizio. They're going to have a little bit of a harder time coming up through the ridge lines, up through these tiered area Puerto Prizio, where now we actually see SpecialX, particularly in terms of Sonic and the rest of the crew down below, taking control of each layer of Puerto Prizio here and actually covering themselves up if he gets knocked.
I quite like Sonic's split, like for a position and for a city like this one. Sonic's position, if he gets some good guns, he can completely change like the fight with that high ground, and can also secure the cross coming from SpecialX. That name that took me so long to figure out how to pronounce should be Kiwi Sat. I'm sorry if that. No, I'm not quite sorry if I can't pronounce it right, because that is just. What the heck is that name? Kiwi is the name. I will stick with that one. Sonic now into the next building will grab also a Sky, also a lot of potential to spray down the side of Team Day to return that favor. Team Day, one kill to start. Let's look at the rest of the map. Impala, we have Team Sog, the three-way jump round Los Leones like we spoke, but San Martin is highly contested as well. KUMA on that north side, but in the main city itself we have ETP and the FASTboys.
Yeah, keep in mind also Happy End of the Patron, not the biggest of compounds really. If you want to try and move around the edge of the mountainside and avoid taking the long route over the top of Carter Hill, we do see on the other end though, around the side of El Pozo, it will be 29, looking to take that high ground of the mega city that is of
Los Leones.
Los Leones, oh my goodness, I'm getting it all mixed up. Los Leones here, trying to keep my mind from memory of what these places are called. But I love the fact of positioning here, of Suppress for 29. The fact that he can take an eagle eye of the surroundings of all of the rotations that could come out by teams, both from more Sons Odin to the south end of his compound, is super valuable and will stop the pure rotations of teams coming through that main roadside or potentially looking to go along the edge of that road. Particularly talk about Sons of Odin maybe making a call to come towards Baka, closer to the rest of the team of 29.
And for a city like Los Leones Silent Wolf, it's so interesting, it's so huge with so many types of buildings that it can often comfortably contain up to 4 or 5 teams. Sometimes they don't even kill or knock each other until the next phase. So the position of Suppress here, like the small concern would be for him to be a bit too aggressive on his peaks, etc. And that will be a very hard revive for his teammates. But let's not speak for too long because they are clashing. Let's head back to Puerto Prizio, and that is pressure with the pressure, trying to put some work in, but they have lost Kazus.
Yeah, zero pressure there, unfortunately smacking a bit too high on those shots against Mira, who will get back away. In SpecialX, it will be now this 1-for-1 really trade, as we saw also Team Bay lose one, but on the other end here will be Happy End of the Patron finally breaking out, and ETP will lose one, close to lose 3 in total. Will be a Supreme, and the rest of scene on the low health bars here to be flushed out by the rest of Fast. just one remaining for Fast, but does manage to keep himself alive. But Tony here with the first aid kit will pop himself back up to 2/3, looking to try finish off the flanks. Here coming out into support from ETP. Perhaps with now that support though, needs to maybe think about retreating.
We've seen what Vitonia has done in the past as well. He almost took some 1v3, so it's not going to be an easy one. That is another 1v3 situation. And Los Leones, like you talked about, Suppress actually took that position there, caught some players of Sons of Odin rotating, a quick knock and a flush as well. Vitonia is in here to take this one.
Oh. Look at him go, but can't quite find it. Will get knocked down. The one health bar keeping himself alive. Would have been flushed out from the backside with a teammate there from ETP either way. So Fast, unfortunately, out of the game early on. But looking at the rest of this map, of course, it's going to be a nice central zone here for the rest of these teams, which means around La Bendita, interesting, Minas Generales Hill, that's where the fights really are going to be going in the center of the zone, particularly if it does just continue to centralize here. We're going to see maybe phase 2, phase 3. Finally, these El Pozo start fights to break out. We decided 29. Looks like 29 almost get caught by the rotation from Leora by Immortals, but just not quite enough shots on target to take down that rotation. Two of them moving now towards the edge and moving towards closer beside the Sons of Odin.
My brain just stopped for a second. The stack. Look at the clan tag. You're just doing my mind in right now. Dude, like, it's so similar to Immortals. I thought, what's going on? But that is it. I mean, like, for this week as well, Highland, if you don't know, we've done the qualifiers last week. So for the teams who have qualified, they get to change the team roster. So this is also a chance, right? This week, chances for teams to continue with the trial to pick up other members. Let's have a look at Suppress. He has been here for forever and trying to pick up more. They did get that first kill of in Los Leones, though, as he continues to hold this down. Sog pulls away from Impala, now heading towards the La Bendita area, close to area of control by the Necrotics. And KUMA may be pinching the sub ETP in San Martin. So let's just bring our cameras over there. ETP is still clumped in that middle part, and KUMA gets to rotate around it. Oh, that can be a very scary one. Worth It is ready to strike.
But keep in mind, Worth It with this position needs to be careful and where when he wants to shoot here, try to take the vehicle. He is slowed down as he starts up the engine. It's not going fast enough, but as I won't here, Worth It, when he gives away his position, will be potentially under fire himself. Barely keeps himself alive here. First aid kit's going to heal him right back up and take the fight back again. And now is the time for really KUMA to be a bit more aggressive than what they're being. I'm surprised that they're still holding off here because they did find that first knock, but it's not going to be really for much if they can't get close enough to finish off the rest. And that smoke screen is blocking the vision of KUMA while that revive will take place. There for ETP, keeping those smokes up, keeping now a way to try disengage. The fight still hasn't, the revive still hasn't. Oh, sorry, and now we see Worth It coming in from behind the entire side of ETP for a new angle, and as soon as that smoke dies, he will have reign over this squad.
Sugar Daddy is in a powerful position right now, so vital. If he can peek and shoot well, he can stop the knocks from coming through, but that was not enough. Moses from the side as well. The second knock, ETP is going to suffer immensely in this one.
Yeah, ETP here get themselves caught out, but almost find one. But the fact that they don't finish that knock will be detrimental for Sugar Daddy to try put his attention on maybe just one target, maybe just another, and actually try bait KUMA out to try revive Murdoch here. But the fact that Sugar Daddy is in a bad position for himself, he is in this trailer cart here by the truck. The only protection here, if he peeks down all the way to try survive, but there's not going to be much hope for him if the rest of his team falls down, which now we have only Supreme still inside the area, but cut off by that roadside by Worth It.
It was going to be really, really hard. Like, they're just playing around the soft covers from the smokes right now. And that is Sugar Daddy continuing to put some work in. He can maybe make this work, but it's not going to be easy. The side angle from Worth It is going to spoil it, but so aware from ETP, still holding this strong. The 2v4 will continue, but as we speak, Highland Wolf in the Los Leones, we missed out on some action. That was actually Sons of Odin getting taken out.
Yeah, Sons of Odin unfortunately do lose their lives, and we'll just be between Immortals and 29. Interesting to see maybe how 29 with Suppress so high up in Immortals earlier on, crowding around him, will play out, because of course Suppress is getting a little bit sketchy right now with the way that Immortals are playing their positioning, the 3-1 split coming out. Also going to stop the rotation coming into the center out of Los Leones, with also that one member rotation from Simba as well. Going to try Mimic Suppress and go all the way up to the top of these scaffoldings and be that high ground scout for his team.
Well, but if we know the city well enough, we know this is nowhere as good as Suppress's position. Look at Simba, just relying on really narrow pillars as his cover. So Suppress will be more suppressive in this one so far, and the phase 2 circle will continue to go towards the middle of the last circle, and Sugar Daddy actually takes out that one there. So let's just head back there, because ETP is actually turning the tables right now.
Supreme as well finds one and make that a double finish off there, as Murdoch will also fall. And they keep themselves alive. Supreme in the smoke and the soft cover, as mentioned. Sugar Daddy with the excellent Knights onto one, putting Murdoch behind to try and make that revive. And you see Just Lonely there, saying hello to Supreme as he whistles his health bar all the way down to 0. Mosey's the only one who will be able to save this team from death. And really the tables turned here. KUMA Germany getting outplayed by Sugar Daddy.
Basically, he's single-handedly just like very, very good. He can shoot just from that one truck. He made it work, eliminating the side threat. Both, one in that and the other one from the hills. Oh my god, ETP is just outplaying it, as you said. Or maybe we should say KUMA is choking a little bit. Oh my
Grenade
lord.
onto Moses. Just disgusting right there. Straight onto target. Supreme ends the hopes and dreams of the side of KUMA Germany. They will be out of the final match and out of tonight's games. Although meanwhile it will be SpecialX versus Immortals here as that fight starts to really break out around that Los Leones area.
Coming from the bottom right of the map, SpecialX is in here to take this one. They want to overtake and pinch the teams in Los Leones. They come to this northern side with those high hills that a lot of teams like to hold. And that is Mirror holding it alongside the rest of his team. Very good split. Flowers may be in a bit of a sicky situation here. Just pinch behind that crate. He will try to run in, but they are ready. SpecialX are ready. Suppress will be the last guy in here, and that is the problem. The long-range third party makes it so hard for them, and that's it. That is it. Immortals hold it strong. Oh my god.
Here stop the disengage from Suppress, and this is where the issue of being so high as well is, right? Suppress super high does have the potential to stop this third party engage, but because he didn't actually fully take advantage of his high ground position, he actually allowed Immortals at that time, as I mentioned earlier, to crowd around him. So when he actually wanted to disengage and come back down, there was no real way of doing so, and Immortals take that kill and finish off the entire squad here. But it will also be this fight between 7 Atoms and also between the side of Team Sog, as they actually just kind of scout around the side of this hilltops in this open land of Minas del Torres. And now 7 Atoms making their aggression. They saw that car come in and they're looking to try see if this is there, but I'm afraid 7 Atoms are too slow. They're already dipping, they're already dapping all the way to the other side of La Bandita. They're looking for that more central position, my friend.
Yes, and it's going to be quite quiet other than this part that we're watching right now, guys, because every team's found a bit of a spot. We're only down to 9 teams right now, 29 players, so the zone would dictate a lot of that. 7 Atoms, the team of Trio, still holding strong in here. Dwas from Team Sog, holding a side angle, will want to punish that rotation coming from Killer, but he would just pull away for now. And that is some Labandita action as we have the next shift going over to Picardo.
Spicy Picardo Hill shift, my favorite place on Miramar to have the action. This is what I want to see. I want to see these teams now rush for that high ground to try obliterate all of these teams like Pain Gaming did with their own mini high ground in game 2. And this is where Sog will be looking to really take control. We saw them do this in game number 2, Sog around the Picardo area, but also so did VD. VD now making their rotation. And they will be the ones that will reach the area first. And interestingly enough, they will not take the hill, but a compound just outside of it. And that tells me that they're perhaps looking for the kills on rotation of some other teams.
You know what? I would disagree with that one, Highland. Just think about what they're trying to do. If they're trying to stop rotations, where would be the teams be coming from? It might be from that eastern side. So how do we do that without getting sandwiched later on? Just take the hill, mate. Just take it. And
you could take the hill.
And that is what I would expect them to do. And there is still a team on that side still being ETP, going for some white rotation, going for that hill. Is Team They know that is a strong one. They're going for it, trailing behind them, rotating in the clockwise manner is the trio from SpecialX.
SpecialX are going to look to try cut off Team They in their rotation up to the top of the peak of Picardo Hill. But it will be Team They that will reach the peak first. And for me, I think with the actual side of that kind of outskirt rotation from BD, the reason why I say that they're actually going to, actually, because La Familia, hold up, we're burning in the church. There's a fire here, Tarzan, in the church. We've got to take it down. It will be settled down. It will be cooling down inside. It will be La Familia here in the Spanish Dunes of Miramar coming together. But it will be Sog with the 1 versus 1. Takes him down. Hello from the tower. The bells are will lose 1, lose a second, and it will be just a triple from the pedestal and the altar as they just come in and wipe them out. Team Sog take a triple.
Evil boy, evil boy. I do believe there's some sort of fate in the names. If you are an evil boy, don't go into the church, okay? The holy flames will burn you down as they went out at 9th position. I'm quite proud of that one, Highland Wolf.
Yeah, here we go. VD here on the outskirts of San Martin. I think they're trying to do here is, I like the fact they're sending 1 person up to the hill, right? They're getting that high ground vision, but they're also keeping 3 down off the hill because they know that in game number 2, there were those hard shifts off Picardo Hill. They don't want to suffer that mistake that we saw already in the previous game. So keeping them on the ground means it's going to be much easier to disengage off the hill and avoid that hard shift issue. But unfortunately, they've already lost their scout here, one of their scouts, for Team They on the other side. In Team They now, with being so split in SpecialX, now coming up all the while with Immortals also, that third party up to the top of the hill, they're going to now put even double pressure on Team They to get a good cover off the edge of this hill.
And yeah, this position, you just need to really know the limits of the ridge, right? The protection, that is pressure. Losing his life for that mistake. A 3-way fight potentially happening here. Excuse me, the hills are so gigantic. That is how high the high grounds are. But all these teams will have to move because just look at that. Highland Wolf, that 1-3 split, like you said, is exactly what I would want to see. No problem leaving some in that compound for 1 to keep some eye on that high ground is important. VD is in a very, very strong position right now.
Yeah, and it's surprised that teams haven't actually tried to match that rotation, particularly on the northern side. And that is now Team They gonna try to go up against SpecialX, and they can't just quite find that one. It'll be whipped out here, but the Molotov stops that engagement down the stairs. The fires of the bullets will stay in strong, but it will be Team Bay that get obliterated inside the building. That will be the outplay, and that will now be Team Bay really in a really tricky position right now. SpecialX try to hold off Immortals, and they will do so mega as they take down a second. Is now only one member of Immortals also remains, with Kesha now trying to go along the ridge lines themselves just to try retreat, try to keep this team alive inside the game. Maybe try use their teammate as a little bit of a bait to try take out one of SpecialX.
My god. SpecialX trying to fight two teams at the same time. Kiwi, I'm so sorry. You are a absolute beast. He was trying to hold down the whole team of Immortals by himself, and that is them after losing Kenny early, basically within minutes of the game. They will come in to top 7 with 7 kills. They've got some rotations to make though, and that is them making their way in. Zigger is still in here, got pushed away, but he has a spot in the circle. Team Sog is also in the circle. Not easy, because look at all these landscapes that they may have to cross and run past, and that's them losing some vehicle health as well on this southeastern edge.
Yes, double danger here with not only open ground and teams rotating in potentially from the south side. Of course, we have the side of Necrotic. Esports also moving their way from the south side along the edge of Picardo Hill, looking for their own spot on the edge of the summit as well. But I think, as we mentioned, it's not only the open ground for the side of, but also that road that separates them and the rest of these teams in this game. It's going to be super hard for them to rotate, and we saw it in previous games. When there's a road in play, it just completely halts your potential engage. And with that double danger, as we say, of the open ground, there's no real way across for them without losing at least a couple members. Maybe send a scout in one direction, the rest of the team in another. We also see that zone though, as you saw, phase 5 shifts onto the mountainside, and it will be these teams to climb up now and take their control of this.
Exactly, and this Vacona making it work. His overlook will allow these rotations to happen with a little bit less risk. VD took that compound thinking that maybe they could farm some kills, but they are under the pressure right now because of that rotation, and they will just make it through though. Big Mac will get munched up along that, and Team Sog is now coming in. It's high ground upon high ground. ETP is here!
ETP will not, though, take the control of the high ground, but it's not done yet because it still is also Immortals looking to try take a little bit of a pot shot at these teams coming as well up to the top. Don't forget as well, Necrotic Order, meanwhile, are summiting up from the south side. They will be in this fight soon enough. As well, we have Sog making their way down from the northern area. But look at the positioning right now, SpecialX. They are on the top of this mountainside. They are in the driving seat right now for this game to take home the chicken dinner.
So that is exactly what I was talking about. I think they should put a lot of priority in this high ground, because this is not like many type of high ground, Highland. With this type of high ground in this part of the plateau, even if they have to come down, there are immediate ridge for them to use. But look at them, like you said, SpecialX is fragging right now.
Kiwi Sad does get punished for his aggression, didn't finish that kill off quick enough, does get caught out in the slightly open ridgeline there, but it doesn't matter still. They have such a strong position. The rest of their members are still on top, and they still will have that dominant spot against all of these other teams. There's outlook straight onto him. Kiwi Sad will also be revived up with the help of Mirror, because of the fact the Team Sog are moving in action against the side of BD as they just snipe out one. Oh, was trying to take down the second, and that will be Falcona just holding himself strong on the edge of the ridgeline, just trying to keep himself alive, and almost actually going to turn towards the other side of himself here and keep an eye as Falcona tries to dodge out the blue zone, but won't be enough. Has to keep himself alive, has to use the first aid kit, which will slow him down, will potentially just be taken out, and see BD punished for a slightly slow rotation versus Team Sog as they make their ascent.
Oh, and that will be it. That is him facing Team Sog as well as SpecialX. Both of these teams can win this. It comes down to the timing of the other teams to strike. 4 teams at the moment, 10 players still. Necrotic is in this one. I think, yes, Team Day is also in here, but Kiwi, the second knock onto himself.
Kiwi getting a little bit over aggressive there. 1 versus 4, not where you want to be, my friend, on the flat hills, on the edge. You want to be with the rest of the team. With that 2-1 split now, with Kiwi going down, it makes it a little bit tricky, because does Mirror go down again? Do we make that rotation of with Sog also coming in so aggressive now? They're getting closer. You now need to make that rotation, or you need to take Sog down. They come with a scout on Alicia there, trying to peek over Mirror, looking to try finish off Kiwi. Sad. Grenade can be cooked. Can they find that knock-up? Goes high. Will not find it just yet. It won't take a target. A second will go down for good measure, but that's going to go wide. A third just for triple check and try to stop these rotations from the side of X. And now with also Sog making their way in. 2-on-2 split. Mirror holding himself on the ground. Order meanwhile. Necrotic also ghosting their way up to the top, all the way from behind, but they have been spotted. The back 2 split from side of Team Sog will spot Tati.
Oh my goodness, look at these amount of ridges. They just need to have those small rotations, Highland Wolf. And Ziga here can still change it. Look at Sog is in trouble right now.
Rudy goes down, a second goes down as he has completely turned his SpecialX, just say, okay, we've had enough. Sog, one time is now your time to die, and it will just be Crook to keep himself alive. The sole player for Sog. He's a junior, but he's looking to make himself a senior in this game and really take home the chicken dinner for his squad. But he's split. Down goes one of Sog. Surely the other 2 will follow. Meanwhile, you see the side of Bay, Necrotic moving their way up. Mirror has gone down, though, to Sog, which means that is 1 less target to take down for these outlying teams trying to make it up to the top.
I think Necrotic may be able to take this one, Highland Wolf. I know they don't have the high ground, but this type of ridge will get trickier and trickier. If the side of SpecialX wants to play as aggressive as they have been, they may have to drop down, and they can just get killed when they go over aggressive in those split seconds.
But they've given away their position. That grenade shows exactly where they are. And you see that also rotating now to the side of Necrotic to try provide that backup. Now comes also Mirror in for the triple firepower over Necrotic. Order meanwhile hoping that the side of Team Sog won't make any too aggressive plays. They will get punished as that rotation for the revive does get finished out. It will only be Crook alive for the side of Sog, as well as that zone moving in. Phase 7 will chew him alive. That first aid kit will not be enough, and he's just going to have to keep himself alive as long enough as he possibly can to get third, maybe second position. We still have Team They, though. That one player coming in from behind Necrotic. Necrotic in a little bit of a tricky position. And Suka also goes down. It will be the pop shot, but the drop down means that they go down even lower on this mountainside. Puts the side of Necrotic in an even worse position for that kill, unfortunately. With Tatki so low to try to fend off the 3 members, will get picked off by the flank side rotation of SpecialX. And now it will only be Kulua, but he's hugging the wall. And I think it's the end of the line here for Necrotic as SpecialX, they look to take home final chicken dinner.
Kiwi may just end this right here, right then. They have a little bit of the angle maybe that Rich is absolute savior for them. If they have the meds, etc., they can maybe still win this. Amira has no health and got only 4 bandages. So a 2 versus 2.5 maybe?
It could be a 2.25, but it does still look like that bandage is dropping down. They find 1, they find a double, and SpecialX say, we don't want to wait. We will just all drop down, and we'll have a party with you, Necrotic, and we will take you down. They take the chicken dinner, as well as a whopping 16 kills.
Check again, Jake, please.
Oh my goodness, no, 13 kills. Dude, my mass level is just a little bit low, okay? I'm learning, and I think you can help me with this. This is what you'll help me with, okay? There's the fast mass. I believe in you, right?
I do believe in myself as well, but to be honest, like, I would, like, if I thought it's 16. I wouldn't be surprised for the momentum that SpecialX had in this game. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it was 16. But they did get 13. Still a very, very strong game. Just one game. Maybe they are back to that middle table, if not above, to make it through to the next round. Necrotics, like you said, doing quite well. We've got some fans in the chat, although it's not so busy today. They took this second place with 5 kills. Sog showing up. I called them the Soggy Boys last Miramar game, and they are in here to prove me wrong as they take the third place and 11 kills. Team They with 1 kill in the 4th position, VD with a 5th place finish and 2 kills. 2 kills by the Immortal with the 6th place finish. ETP, we saw what they could do. Supreme and Sugar Daddy, like, you know, like in those split seconds, I thought such a good name to have when you clutch like that, right? So 7th place for them, 8 kills, 2 squad wipes in San Martin itself. 7 Atoms, unfortunately, will have gone out at 8th place with no kills. LF with the 9th place finish. And I'll just carrying through Highland Wolf because we don't have as many teams as we won. And team... So 10th place, 29 with 2 kills. KUMA Germany, 11th place finish with 1 kill. Sons of Odin went out at 12 early in Las Leonas. Last but not least, we have the FASTboys, who also ended their run for tonight pretty fast. For Tony, who showed what he can do. We'll take that 1 kill for the team, though.
Man, I'm so glad you're able to help me here because it's really difficult. 20 sometimes, so I'm glad you're here with me. Optimal mathematician here, Professor Tarzan.
My absolute pleasure, and that is also something that we picked up along the way, right? Just looking at results, etc. And yeah, stay in school, guys. But if you do get a contract, very, very good. No, like Jake is amazing. I'm just like trying to, you know, there's a rare chance for me to
I just find it hard
make...
sometimes to count. Okay.
But that is that, and so yeah, like amazing opportunities for both of us. Maybe we will cast some bigger things soon. We don't know. Like if there is, we'll be happy, happy to share. Not gonna spoil anything. I should say not to jinx it, Jake. You know, that might be it. You know, the Jake.
I know.
Jake and Josh
don't do what you did to Team Hate in game number 2. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not my fault that they didn't play game 4. Okay, so that's that.
Fair
and interesting night so far. We have 3 more of these, and both me and Highland Wolf will be in here to do it. And if you like it, do drop that like button and the subscribe. And also, you can follow Highland Wolf on Twitter, and mine is basically empty, but if I have an audience, I may consider speaking some more garbage from my own brain there. But that is basically it for tonight. I hope all of you had a good night. Any more words that you want to say to our lovely viewers, Highland Wolf?
Oh man, I'm just excited just to get into the rest of these quarterfinals because some of the plays right now are just popping off, especially in game number 1 and game number 2 with Pain Gaming. If there's some star teams here in the rest of these finals, we are in for a show, Tarzan.
Exactly. So that will be what we'll be doing in the upcoming few days. So do come back, and I will see you all very soon. Have a brilliant night and a brilliant week ahead. Once again, I am the host tonight, Professor Tarzan, alongside the very lovely Highland Wolf. We wish you a very, very good evening, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.